This video is on how to draw circuit diagrams. Before watching this video, make sure you understand what a circuit diagram is and what's the difference between an open and closed circuit. Before we start talking about the symbols of circuit diagram, let's review the rules for drawing a good circuit diagram. First off, you need to use the correct symbols. We're going to talk about the symbols in a minute, but for the most part, the symbols tend to be pretty simple. So like a light bulb symbol is going to be this right here. Please do not try to draw me a light bulb. Doesn't matter what a good artist you are. I don't want to see your interpretations of what we're trying to draw here. Okay, I want you to use the symbols that electricians and architects and everyone who does this for a living use. We're going to practice it just like you were going out to work and you were going to draw some diagrams and design a house, because that's actually what we're going to be talking about starting next week. All the wires must be drawn using straight lines. So when we're drawing a circuit diagram, your circuit diagram is not going to look like an actual circle. It's going to look as close as possible to a square as you can. Every line is going to be straight. This does not mean you need to use a ruler. Just please take your time. I don't want to see this. Okay, that is just laziness. You can draw what's pretty close to a straight line. Make sure to use all of the components in the description. You're going to get almost like a word problem, and it's going to say you should have 3 light bulbs, or a light bulb and a switch, or something like that. Make sure you include everything that is in that description. Also look into the description for whether it is in series or in parallel. Those are 2 key words to look for in our descriptions, and we're going to talk about those as we practice it. Remember that a series circuit has only one path. So something like this. A parallel circuit is going to have more than one path, and it's going to look like a box with stripes or a series of smaller boxes within it. And all components must be connected in a complete loop. You can't have a circuit diagram that all of a sudden has a gap like this. Okay? It needs to be connected all the way that you should be able to trace your pencil or pen, whatever you're using, or your finger, all the way around and have it in a complete circle. When you're drawing your circuit diagrams, please refer back to these notes. It's very important. All right, let's talk about our symbols here. Okay, symbol for a wire. Okay, the wire that connects the batteries is simply a straight line. Oop. Coming back to you here. So right now in your notes, please draw your interpretation of this symbol, which should be something like this, a straight line. Get it as close to straight as possible. You do not need a ruler. If we're going to connect wires, okay, we're going to have another straight line feeding into it, like this. This circle part of drawing like a little dot here to show it's connected, it's not amazingly important, but it will make your diagrams look neater, and then you're not going to be like, ooh, did I try to draw a corner there and messed up, or are they supposed to be connected, right? So drawing a dot where they connect makes it very clear that you're connecting wires. A battery. A battery is going to be a short line and a long line. The short line is your negative side. The long line is your positive side. And there's going to be wires connecting into either side of the battery. There's going to be a slight gap here in between the negative side and the positive side. This is what your battery should look like. Perpendicular lines to the wires. So the battery lines go up and down, the wires go across. Alright. A resistor. So that's something that has electricity that goes through it. It might be a light bulb, it might be a TV or a radio or a washer machine or something that is has electricity. we draw a resistor like this. We're going to have the straight line of our wires, and then we're going to draw a series of zigzags up and down. The number of peaks really doesn't matter, like if you have 2 or 3, but please don't have like 8. 3 is a pretty good number here. A light bulb has its own special symbol. It's a circle with an X through it. You're going to have the wires connecting on either side. Switch, remember we talked about an open circuit and a closed circuit. So a switch has both open and closed. You need to know that an open switch means off, and a closed switch means on. So an open switch, we're going to have our wires, and it's like a drawbridge is up. It's not down, they're not touching. A closed switch is like the bridge is down. You need to draw the dots here so I know that there's a switch. That's the difference between a switch and a wire. This is just a wire. And this is a switch. Make sure you have the difference. So at this point, you should have all of these symbols, and we're ready to start drawing our circuit diagrams.